We go through this every year. You know perfectly well what holiday it is.
Okay. Happy Halloween, everybody. Whoopee.
Row 18, plot 20.
Hey everybody, welcome to Now It's Dark. I'm Jim, doing a review for a movie that just released on Paramount Plus, actually. A Paramount Plus direct stream movie, Pet Sematary Bloodlines. This is the prequel to the latest Pet Sematary movie, not the original OG one, but the remake. This is a prequel to the remake. It's an hour and 27 minutes. It has 6.7 star rating on IMDb already, but it's still only in double-digit numbers for reviews. So to kind of bring you up to speed, it's fantasy horror. It's set in 1969 when Judd Crandall dreams of leaving Ludlow, Maine behind, but he soon discovers sinister secrets buried inside and is forced to face a dark family story that will keep him forever united with Ludlow. Director Lindsay Anderson Beer, who also co-wrote with Jeff Bueller and Stephen King. Henry Thomas is in this movie, and I'll get back to my thoughts on Henry Thomas. You know Henry Thomas. Samantha Mathis plays Kathy. David Duchovny plays Bill. Pam Grier is in this movie. Marjorie is her character. Jackson White plays Judd Crandall, who is the, I guess, main protagonist. Natalie Allen Lind, who looked so familiar, I had to keep looking her up, but really not a lot of, she's done some voice acting, she's done a lot of other things. If you watch this movie, she is the young blonde who I guess would be the significant other to Judd. Jack Mulhern plays Timmy, who's a very, very important character in this story. Manny is played by Forrest Goodluck, and I would say he is also a pretty major character in this movie. So Henry Thomas plays Judd Crandall's father. You know him as the kid from E.T. So he's old guy. Like, I don't know. He's maybe, let me see if it says when this guy was born. He was in E.T. in 1982. But I don't know. Like, I still see him. Okay, yeah, so we're like literally the same age. He was born in 71. I was born in 71. So 52 years old. He still's got like this baby face. So it was really hard for me to look at him as like this father, and then also kind of like this caretaker thing. There's a story about the history of Ludlow, which is the small town that they live in that has the pet cemetery. So other than that, I think all the characters were well cast. All the acting was decent. This is one of those movies that it's like, why are they making this? And then you go, oh, it's going right to stream. It's going to suck balls. I wouldn't say that it sucks balls. I do find it interesting to find out the history behind the pet cemetery, what some of the lore is, the idea that obviously there's an untapped number of stories that can actually come out of this pet cemetery. It's a small town. It's not unbelievable that there's multiple people that know the secrets of this cemetery. And so, yeah, I was open to the idea from the beginning of this. I didn't have like high expectations for, the movie, but I think it seems like there was some minor tweaks to the history that maybe we were led to believe. I also did struggle, I'll be honest, with separating the original movie because I saw it first so long ago. And Fred Gwynne saying, sometimes dead is better, is going to be forever one of those iconic lines from a movie for me. So I know they did the remake. I did watch it, and I didn't hate that either. I know there was like some twistiness from the original in that as well. This movie did overuse that term, though. Sometimes dead is better. It was used multiple times by a couple of different people within the story. Even an end narration, it was used. And I don't know, I found it a little off putting. It was like they were forcing us to um, buy into that being like the tagline, I guess. I don't think it was necessary. When I first saw the cast list and I saw David Duchovny on this, I was really afraid he was going to be the main. Uh, I thought he was going to be the father of Judd. I wasn't really paying attention to whose roles fit where, just the actors' names. I must not have recognized Henry Thomas right away because I was just looking at words. But if you see his picture, you obviously know that it's the little ET guy. Um, and David Duchovny, we all know from the X Files, and that's basically all I can see him as. I know he was in Californication, he was in The Craft requel, or whatever we're calling that, extended story of The Craft. So I had zero expectations. So I didn't hate this. I liked the opening sequence. I was intrigued by the time period. It was also set very close to the time I was born. So, like, the draft and war was a big factor in the story. And that's real world from when I was a kid, too. There are some story issues, but again, without being like nitpicky, with understanding that the story for me was convoluted between the original and the sequel remake, and this is a prequel, so the story gets a little timey-wimey for me, I guess. I don't know how really else to explain it, but I definitely had some moments when I was watching this film. I was invested in the film the whole way through. Like, I didn't lose interest in it. Like, I did want to see where it was going. The only one downside is that Judd, we already know, survives because he was in the remake. He was in the movie. So, other than Judd, we don't know who's going to survive through this whole thing. And they do kill off people. Like, there's people that definitely get killed off. There's multiple people that are turned, I guess. I don't know what would be the right terminology for that. And then that becomes a lot to deal with too, because it's not just one character that kind of becomes pet cemeteried. It's multiple people, but it's within the framework of the story. Timmy is the main protagonist. He comes back from war, and David Duchovny plays his father. And I won't go into a lot of detail, but shenanigans be happening at the Duchovny house with little Timmy. But there was some definite, like, oh shit moments for me. I had at least two. One was an audible, whoa shit, can't believe that just happened. And there's a couple of deaths that you really don't see coming. One major one for me, anyways. I feel like they took some risks, making this movie. I think they kind of knew they had to. And I think they did a good job with it. I think they could have gone like maybe one kill further. There's one particular thing that I would have liked to have seen them actually take and just do it, and then that would have maybe added to the Judd Crandall's character being like becoming the grumpy old man. See, and that reference just now was to the original, and I can't do that. I gotta sequence. See, I should have maybe watched. Maybe you should watch the remake and then watch this on Paramount Plus. That might have been the smarter thing for me to do. I should have prepped my brain and watched the Pet Cemetery remake and then watch this. Maybe do that. If you've never seen any of the movies, you could probably watch this and it'll be fine. This is an okay standalone movie, and there is plenty of room between this prequel and the remake to do a series of movies if they wanted to. They could do them direct to stream. This definitely is a direct to stream type movie. I don't think it would have done well in the theaters. I also think it might have even been better if this movie had been released at a different time. And that's weird to say about a horror movie because you think October is the right time for a horror movie, but it's not always. This might have been a good, like, January or July type of a movie. Right now, they're competing with all these other movies: Totally Killer, Exorcist, Saw X, Chucky season 3. Like, there's a lot of competition in this first week alone. So I think they would have done better if they moved it to a different time. But it's overall not a bad movie at all. Definitely not the worst movie I've seen this week. Exorcist. But anyways, that's going to do it for my Halloween shenanigans. Stay tuned to the channel for more all through the month of October.